Alright team, so in this video I'll be teaching you guys how to always end in blue, the importance of always ending in blue. So the follow-up video right after this will basically be how to trail your positions and also always ending in blue, but this is just going to be more verbal. I'm going to be telling you guys why it's important to always end in blue. It's also part of your psychology as well. You need to understand why it's important to always end in blue, especially if you're not yet a pro trader. So there's a couple of tips I'm going to run through with you guys, so be prepared, let's get it. Number one, the reason it's always important is because what's that going to do for your psychology is going to be pretty insane. Because when you go back to your history of your trading account or whatnot and you see a bunch of blues, it may not be major blues, but it's regular blues, it's break even, you're not seeing reds, you're just seeing a lot of blues, especially if you've been practicing a strategy consistently. It's going to be very good for your mental, because that's going to condition your mind to say that I can see blue, I can build an account. You're going to get a lot more confident when entering trades in the market. The goal is of course not to get overconfident, but you are going to get a lot more confident when entering trades in the market, and this is very, very important. And what I mean by always ending in blue is, say you have a $100 account, right? Let's just say, not for risk to reward ratio's sake, but off this trade you're trying to make $100, right? Now what you got to do is, say you're up $20. What I mean is, if you're up $20, that's still a little too close. That's still a little too close to start securing any partial profits. That's still a little close to move SL to break even. It's still very, very close, only being $20 up. But say you reach $40, then it's important to have your SL at break even or move it into profit. And then no matter what happens right afterwards, even if price does go back to your break even point, or even if price does go back to hit your SL in profit, say your SL was at $20, right? So it's like 20 pips into it, or 20 points if you're in US 30 and NAS 100. Say it's just going back to hit the $20 mark, you've still made profit for the day, right? And what this is going to be teaching you basically, it's not about holding for the SL, for the TP. It's about making sure you always secure profit as you see it and as it comes. Because let's be honest, $40 is going to be pretty good, especially if your account only allows you to make $40 off certain trades, right? So $40 is going to be pretty good. You're always risking right and in accordance to what your account is. So say you're aiming for $1,000 and you're up $400. That SL has to be at $200, right? And then you let it play out. Say it goes to $600. That SL has to be at $400. You got to keep moving it up. And even if price does come back and hit your SL at the $400 mark, and then it goes to hit the $1,000, that is still okay. That is still okay, especially when you're a beginner trader. When you're a beginner trader, that alleviates risk, number one. That shows you that your strategy was correct. Your strategy was okay. It didn't go to your SL zone. You entered the trade, started off in some drawdown, didn't go to your SL, went into really good blues, you moved your SL to secure partial profits. Price went back to hit your SL, you only secured 50% of it, then it went back to hit the take profit area. You won't be mad, and here's why you won't be mad. If you try to hit your take profits every single time, you're always going to be on some, if it doesn't hit my take profit, this is not a successful trade, and that is not the case at all. If it doesn't hit your take profit, doesn't mean it's not a successful trade. It just means, right, that your take profit was a little ambitious, it was a little far off. And sometimes price doesn't go to where you want to go immediately. Sometimes it's got to retrace, it's got to pull back, it's got to hit respect certain zones before initially going to your area. And especially if you're a day trader, right, this is something we want to happen as soon as possible. You understand what I mean? I'm not trying to hold trades for months. That's not what we're here for. You understand? How this is actually going to discipline you, it's going to teach you, when you see good profits, make sure you secure. It's going to teach you to not be too greedy, because sometimes when we take profits, they're unrealistic. A lot of traders are guilty of this. When they take profits, it's unrealistic take profits. It's something they're just hoping to make, and not necessarily what they think they can actually make off of this trade and off their own assessment and analysis. But what this is teaching you is to stop being greedy, right? Take it as it comes. Take it as it comes. Take it as it comes. The reason this is very important, especially if you're a beginner trader heading on to pro level, is that it's going to save your account, number one. You're going to see a lot of blues. It's going to boost your psychology. It's going to boost your confidence overall in the Forex markets. And you're going to start to see that you can actually do this, which is super, super important, especially when trading. As long as you feel and know that you can actually do this, you won't fail. That's what it's about. It's about really believing that you can truly do this, and then you will not fail. The problem a lot of traders have is that off the get-go, when they think being a pro means it always has to hit take profit. That's not what being a pro means. Being a pro means assessing a trade as it's happening, right? We have the areas that we deem it's going to go based upon our own analysis, right? But off a certain area, when we're up a certain amount of profit, you best believe that SL is taken out of place. That SL is definitely not still in the negatives. That SL is either at break even or it's in deep blue, or we've secured partial profits and we left a couple of positions open. The next video will explain with the visual example as well as to what I mean when I say always secure your always end in blue. It's very, very important. Best believe when I'm up, if you see me up, right, like $30,000 off a major trade that I took, because for me $30,000 is a mega trade. It is a mega trade, right? $30,000 is a mega trade. I usually make about $9,000 to $12,000 per trade that I do take. So $30,000 is a pretty massive trade for me. Now when I take that, best believe when I show you, when I record a reel or whatnot, my SL is deep in blue. So even if price retraced and hit all my SLs, I'm out with about $20,000, which is still really, really good. Just because I didn't take 30, I took home 20. Would you rather take home 20 or not take anything at all? If anything, pay the market because of greed, right? Because of hope. We don't come to the markets to hope that it's gonna do what we want it to do. You have to analyze and be certain and be factual on what it's gonna do. We don't come into this market to hope. That's why it's important to always end in blue. So always end in blue is gonna boost your psychology, especially in the beginning phases. Once you start to reach pro level, right, it becomes so much more easier. Once you're in pro level, it becomes so much more easier because after that, you know what to do and what not to do. After that, you're comfortable with leaving an SL in certain areas, and then you'll change as a trader. But like I said, beginner to pro level, you definitely want to always end in blue, and it's going to be very, very good for you, good for your account, good for your psychology, good for your trading ability as a whole. So just remember something very, very important. It's not about always hitting TP. It's not always about hitting the very last TP. It's about making sure that the journey to that last TP, you're making blue, you're making money, you're securing profit, and that once it hits the last TP, you're good. You're good. It's about setting realistic goals. You need to have realistic goals. The problem is with a lot of traders, they do not have realistic goals. It's all about hope. I hope from this trade I could make $10,000. Your account's only on $100. Your take profit is yards away. It's yards away from your entry point, right? And then your SL is like super tight, and you expect, no, it's not about that. It's not about that at all. What trading is about an analyzing where you see the market going, right? And then placing your take profit within that range. And then what it's about is that on your way there, say you're in deep blues, on your way to that take profit, you have to be securing. If you open one position of 0.10, you can secure 0.05 of it. You know what I mean? If you open one position of a standard loss, you can secure 50% of that standard and let it proceed. You took money from the markets. You took it, then that SL is probably at break even if you don't want to move it too close, just to always make sure that even if price goes against you, you make money.